This is a tough one. Is there anyone I manage or interact with regularly that I believe is not promotable? Toughest conversation you'll ever have to have with somebody. Have I told him or her this when we discuss promotion? Here's what I find a lot of organizations do. They have a job posting process, or however internal candidates express their interest in a job, and they allow someone to continue to sign up for management jobs when they know they're not going to promote them into management. So what they really do is chicken out and let the system take care of the issue instead of sitting down and talking to that employee. And what do you think happens to the employee who's been turned down 3 times for a supervisory position? What do you think they say about your organization throughout the organization?
No room for advancement.
There's no room for advancement. This is an awful place. I've been here forever. That's not good for your organization either. So you got to have that tough conversation. And you don't look at them and say, you're not promotable. That's brutal. You have the conversation with them, and I'm going to ask you, Vonda, do you mind doing this with me?
I don't mind at all.
Vonda, I know that you've applied. Now, here's Vonda's situation. She's terrible with people. Okay, she is a fabulous employee. She's great at what we've got her doing, but she keeps wanting to be a supervisor because there's more money and more prestige and all that. So she's applied twice or 3 times, and she's been turned down twice or 3 times. And she's gotten the, we found another more qualified candidate answer several times. Vonda, I know that you've applied for 2 or 3 promotions into management because you want to get ahead and you want to advance. And I'm wholeheartedly in favor of that, and I want to help you with that. But I think what you're pursuing is not your strong suit. When you talk to me about working, you like to work by yourself and you like to be a contributor. You are much more technical than you are people-oriented. So I'm not sure supervision is the place for you. Let's talk about where you could be working on a promotion that really plays to your strengths and not to your weaknesses. So let's talk about that rather than pursuing management, because I really don't think you would enjoy it, and I don't think it complements what you really bring to the table. And so you turn them from what is a path that isn't good for them, where they can't succeed, and they're getting beaten up every time they get rejected because you have that tough conversation. Now, sometimes the tough conversation is, there's no place here for you. And I've had that conversation with someone who came to work for me, who really wanted to be in human resources, absolutely thought that's where she wanted to be, and she's failing miserably. And she's smart, and she's bright, and she's just not doing some of the work that she needs to do, and everything she does is behind schedule. And it's behind schedule because she doesn't like doing it. So instead of writing her up for the final time, her name was Lorraine, I had this conversation with Lorraine. Lorraine, I know you wanted to be in human resources, but you've been here about 10 months. We keep talking to you about performance issues. Are you sure this is where you want to be once you've been exposed to what it is that we do? Now, I know there are lots of HR people in here. How many of you got into HR and it didn't turn out to be what you thought it was going to be? You still love it, but it wasn't what you thought you were getting into. Happens to people all the time. They have this vision of what the job is. So I had that tough conversation with her. I said, well, Lorraine, we're going to put you at final written warning. Here's what I'd like to do. This is clearly not the job for you. So how about if we give you 60 days to find another place to go? We'll rearrange your schedule so you can interview. If you've got an interview, I'll help you with your resume. It is clear this is not the place for you. And so we gave her 60 days to find another spot. Now, here's what's so hard about management courage. At the end of 30 days, I haven't seen Lorraine do a thing. She isn't asking for time off to interview. I'm scared she's not looking. So then I go back and have the second conversation that's even harder to have. And I say, Lorraine, we agreed that we would give you 60 days to find a new position. You were at the point where we were going to fire you. So instead of terminating you, we're giving you 60 days to look for a job. But let me be very clear. When October the 31st rolls around, that's your last day of work here. That's 30 days from now. I want you to find a job, but you have to get started because I'm going to terminate your employment November the 1st. She didn't get started. She didn't find a job, and we had to terminate her on on November the 1st. It was really tough. And here's what happens when you're courageous sometimes. She went to my new boss, my new CEO that I hadn't worked with for very long, and spent an hour in his office telling him what a monster I am. Sometimes when you're courageous and step up, you're going to have a tough time with that. And you're going to go, why did I ever do this? But a lot of times when you're courageous, you can be life-changing to somebody. Don't miss the chance to be life-changing to somebody because a couple of these backfire on you. Step up and manage at a whole different level. Manage those relationships at a whole different level.